Hi, Godless Voice here. Today I'm going to be defining a term that I use with some frequency, something I've came up with. It's called cancer self. Your cancer self is when you have a behavior or a thought process, some idea in your head that you've already falsified, but for some reason the mind goes back to it and you want to engage in it. This would be what I refer to as a cancer self, as most commonly would be in addiction, drug addiction. The cancer self, as I like to call it, is your desire to do things that you know are bad or wrong. In addiction, the reason why this is an important thing to identify is because it's more pronounced in addiction, drug addiction. You have a part of you that enjoyed doing the drugs and enjoyed the experience. However, there's that moment of clarity, so to speak, in which you actually become aware that what you're doing is counterproductive or bad or something like that. So, identifying this as your cancer self is allowing you the opportunity to defy it. You can basically assume that any, for me at least, in my case, drugs, I can assume that when I have an idea to go do some drugs, I immediately say no. There's no reason, no compromise, no negotiation with it. It is simply no. I blindly deny any attempt to go that direction because I've already, in a saner mind, determined that this was bad for me and negative for me. And in doing so, I've empowered myself to simply avoid the whole process altogether. Imagine, if you will, since we're imagining this as our personality, as an alternate version of our personality, who better would be able to convince you to do something? Who would know you well enough to tell you exactly what you needed to hear to do something that they want you to do? Yourself. I know it may be suggestive to creating a schism in your psyche, alternate personality, something to that effect. Really, it's not. It's not so much that dramatic. It's really just a way of identifying when you are engaging in something negative. You know you need to stop. Sometimes it might be. It doesn't necessarily limit to drugs. It could be a temper problem. What you do is, I'm getting mad. I feel like hitting something. False that. Whatever you need, whenever you need to hit something, you immediately say no. It doesn't matter whether or not they deserve it. The moment you try to negotiate with it, you're giving yourself leeway to talk yourself into doing something stupid. So you just simply say no outright. It does create a level of wild avoidance of things. But I submit that if you have a problem with it, then perhaps you do need to wildly avoid it. So, this is basically the rundown of what the cancer self is, what it means, and the best way to defend yourself to it is just simply say no. Whatever is associated with this cancer self, you take an inventory of everything that you associate to this cancer self. Like, for example, again, me, drugs. Everything that I associate with drugs, I need to work long hours. No, no drugs. I want to disconnect from reality. No, no drugs. There are better ways to do that. You can play video games, for example. So, I have an instant falsification to anything that suggests that I should do drugs. And that's basically it. That is the cancer self and how to deal with the cancer self and what the cancer self means whenever I happen to use that term. Obviously, I'm having to define something. That means something related is about to come up.